Welcome to Deepak Dating, and I have my friend here, Nair, and we are doing this podcast for Southeast Asian guys, Indian guys, and so yeah, introduce yourself, Mr. Nair.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. So my name's Nayar. I'm a men's lifestyle and self-improvement content creator slash coach for South Asian men. Originally, my channel started very broad, talking about various aspects of self-improvement, you know, dating, career, fitness, obviously, business, mindset, lifestyle, all that traditional, men's lifestyle kind of content. But over the past couple months, I've really niched it down to just focusing on dating because I think that's really one of the biggest pain points that South Asian men struggle with. So, yeah, man. Not to say that I'm not never gonna touch any of the other stuff, but right now I'm really focused on this dating niche, and yeah, that's a little bit about my channel.
And before we move forward, here's the quick important message. If you're still suffering in your dating life and not able to find the right solution for the problems what you're facing in your dating life, then now it's time to change it forever. And if you're committed, then get to a 30-minute call with me where I will listen to your problems what you are facing in your dating life, and I will give you the best solution which will efficiently solve your dating problems. So book a 30-minute consultation call with me. The link is in the description below, and let's solve your dating issues once for all. I am also the creator of dating product of the century, Dating in Fields Domination, which is unchallenged the best live example dating product, where you will not only see my live examples of me interacting with people, making some of them my life partner, but also my students doing the same. And live examples are from all over the world, like New York, London, Europe, Las Vegas, and from all races. If you still do not believe what I'm saying, then just check the product out. It costs only $1, and if you're not satisfied, then I guarantee I will even refund that $1 to you. And also guys, if you're enjoying my content, then like this video because that will help in performing this video better in algorithm. And don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell button so that you will be notified when I release a new video. And let's move forward with the main video. Okay, and what makes you come to like in this dating? Like you were also like struggling in the start in getting laid or something like that, or
So I've always kind of been fascinated with this type of content, just self improvement in general, right? I've always been kind of big into fitness. Really got into it in college and stuff. And a lot of it kind of goes hand in hand, right? Like just self improvement, and then naturally, as you improve, you see like better results when it comes to dating. So the dating stuff really kind of went in hand with like the fitness stuff. Really, like in my late teens, early 20s. I did struggle with dating a lot in college. Not to say I didn't get dates, but the results were very like inconsistent. It was like sometimes I'd be riding like a high, and then sometimes it would just be like rejection, rejection, rejection. Most of the time in college, though, I didn't know like really what I was doing, right? And then I
yeah.
remember one time I like went to YouTube and I Googled like how to get like a girlfriend, right? And then this video by Simple Pickup. Do you remember them? They're
Ah,
like,
of
yeah, yeah,
course, it is. They were, I think, in 2010. If I'm like 2010,
yeah,
2011, 12, they were like very
yeah.
famous.
Yeah, so then a video by like Simple Pickup on like just approaching girls popped up on my feed, and I just started like binge watching all their videos, and it kind of like mind blown me. It was like, oh shit, like these guys are like pretty average looking. Like I could do this, right? So then I kind of like started watching that advice. Got into a little bit of like just socializing, approaching girls, getting out of my comfort zone. I think I even like bought their course like this is like 12, 13 years ago, man. Before it
Ah,
was even like one-to-one coaching, it was just like a video course and everything like that. But no, I watched them. I watched a lot of like the prank channels. I think they just naturally came up like on my feed and
mhm.
stuff. But there's like, so many route options in terms of just like improving that I found through YouTube, just watching a lot of those guys be super social. And then it kind of motivated me when I saw like a lot of other guys who weren't like the best looking, have success. And then I kind of tried to emulate a lot of that. But as I got kind of older, I realized, there's also like the other aspects of it too, right? Other than just socializing, obviously, working on like style, grooming, fashion, physique, all of that. Those are a lot of things over the past like 5 years that I've really like stepped it up on. And then
Mm-hmm.
really, just putting everything that I know together. About a year and a half ago, I started like on YouTube, just talking about like men's lifestyle, self improvement. I've always really been pretty
Mm-hmm.
big into like fashion and stuff too, and
Okay, makes sense.
fitness
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
checked your
So,
I checked your
yeah,
stuff. Actually, you are good on big on like looks maxing and fashion and all the stuff. I can also
yes,
talk about myself because this podcast is for both. So
sure.
in the for me, like I am from India and born there in Delhi, and then I came in 2006 in Europe, and in the start it is like when you're grown up in like in these places, then you think like oh, you have an IT job, you have a doctor, you're engineer, that is more than enough to get laid, to get girls. Or when I came to Europe, and then I said, oh, I'm an IT consultant and all, it just never worked out. So then
Yeah,
it
no one
was
really cared.
2000. Nobody cares. uh,
Yeah,
and it was interesting actually. I was in Germany, we have this kebab kind of shops, very famous, like doner kebab kind of, and the Turkish guys are making. And one time I was in this it was 2008, and I was in this doner kebab shop, and I was buying this doner kebab. And then I saw two hot German girls were like flirting with this kebab guy.
yeah.
And I became like, and I said like, what the fuck is going on? I became like, for
Yeah, I
two
feel
three
you,
days you
man.
just cannot
Yeah,
understand that these girls, I'm like trying my best, but this guy
yeah.
with just cutting the kebab, and he's getting the all attention, and the girl, and then I was started to like search like what's going on and how I improve.
Yeah.
So in the old days it was like David D'Angelo, if you remember. I don't know if you remember this guy, David D'Angelo Mystery. These are like
It was a
even
little
before.
before my time, I
Yeah, yeah,
think.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So then the Mystery, and then RSD. I guess RSD, you must be knowing.
Yeah,
So
I have a lot of friends that went in their boot
yeah.
camps. I think the
So
earliest guy that I remember was Paul Janka. I know I saw him on like
yes.
Dr. Phil one time when I was like scrolling through TV. I was like, oh shit, I've seen this guy on YouTube. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So these guy, and then and then I like went more in this thing and started game in 2010. And I went to USA actually, do the RSD boot camp multiple times. There was like some Miami model season boot camp and all. I did also. They came to Europe, and then I also joined them. Their hot seat, like lot of stuff I tried. And by 2013, like I started to get success, and then working. In the start I was working as a dating coach in German, so I was speaking in German language. Then I noticed that I'm getting more like acceptance in international in English language. So then I switched myself to English language. The main channel is like English language channel. So yeah, and then since then I'm like working. 2014 I'm working as international. So that's my story as a like dating coach. It is interesting. The looks part is very interesting because in the start there was no looks maxing kind of stuff.
yeah,
Looks actually looks was there. Actually, it was interesting when I was gaming. The like lot of my friends like were German, so we do the same thing, and they were getting attention from the girl. Hey, you're cute or something, and I was doing the same thing. I was not getting. So I was always thinking in my mind that there is something kind of looks or race or ethnicity kind of things play a role, but I was not able to get like proof to solidify my belief.
yeah.
So my at the end, like my main goal was not that, oh, I have to, my belief system is correct. My main goal was to get laid. Make sense?
Right.
To get good. Who cares? Because I never wanted to become dating coach at that time. So then I went more and more, and like I lost my job, and then I noticed some differences that the same things what you do, like, what a European guy is doing, I'm doing, I'm not getting the same result, and he's getting the results. And then I like find my own way in that way. And that is interesting. And at that time, looks maxing was not that strong. But what happened was, I was completely focusing, okay, I have to go game, game, game. So, brute force game. So I developed
Yeah.
the gaming skill so much. Even like bad style, I was like fat, chubby.
Yeah,
I
I
was,
used to. I can relate to that. 'Cause like you said, looks maxing wasn't a thing until the past 5 years or so, right? And before then, it was literally from what I saw. Um, and there were a lot of, I guess, pickup and dating coaches were really like, and this was even before dating apps, right? It was just that was the only option you had, unless you had like connections through like friends. The only other
yes.
way was literally socializing, pickup game to like meet women. So that was
Yeah.
pretty much it for the longest
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And then it was interesting when I was gaming in 2016, 15. Somehow I did some experimentation on the body, and I lose some fat and improve my fashion. And I noticed like I was getting better success with the girls with the same level of game. So then I also
Yeah.
like focusing on my looks maxing by 2016, 17 also. I'm like, but this was definitely, I noticed like, the guys need to focus on physical aspect also with the game if they want to have good results, definitely.
Yeah.
That play a role, especially in cold approach, even in online.
Yeah, it makes it substantially easier in terms of the girls like receptivity for sure. Because it's like if you have an attractive guy approach a girl versus a guy who's like dressed like I don't know in like sweatpants and like a tank top and not trimmed beard, smells bad, goes up. It's like who do you think the girl's going to be more receptive to in general, because it's like it's
Yeah.
almost equivalent of like a homeless guy approaching a girl versus like just like a good well dressed put together guy approaching the girl, right? Their game could be or the social skills could be very similar, but it's kind of like what's the difference? It's like one looks better than the other. The guy that looks better, more well presented, is gonna have more success. So
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, game part is also like required, but yeah, the once you have, if you have a good like a first appearance,
yeah.
like first impression, that definitely helps. So what is the situation of these like, the Indians or like Pakistanis or like Bangladeshis or like Southeast Asian guys in
Right.
USA? The what is your dating situation?
You want my personal one or the
Yeah, yeah,
clients that
personal.
I work with?
Yeah, personal,
Oh,
like
my personal one. Okay,
no, no,
sure, man.
like what is your, no, what is there, like what do you think about what is the condition situation of, uh, from guy from these origin, like, what do you think? It's like your
Sure.
observation about our community.
Yeah, no, it's definitely as like an Indian guy, as a Southeast Asian guy, it's a lot more difficult as opposed to say like the white version of myself, right? So I
Mhm.
preach a lot on my channel about this concept called race niche appeal, where if you have somebody who's the same exact like SMV, right? Sexual market value, right? Same status, same job, even could be like looks wise like very similar, right? Like same height, same like bone structures, same style, right? Similar like SMV, sexual market value. If that guy is say like basically you but the white version of yourself, right? From what I've noticed and from my experience, the white version of like myself would get better results than the brown version of myself. However, that doesn't mean that as an Indian guy, you should just sit there and cope and be like, I can't get white girls, I can't get black girls, I can't get Latino girls because they're outside of my race. That's not true at all. I used to think like that a lot because when I was younger, uh, really the dating apps started really popping off back in like 2014 and
Mhm.
2015. Um, I wasn't getting many matches back then, but at the same time, I hadn't looks maxed that much back then. I hadn't worked on making myself more attractive, right? But what you notice is the more attractive you make yourself, and the more you've raised your SMV level, and the more if it comes to socializing, the better you are socially, the more confident you get, the more just overall attractive you make yourself as a man. That race niche appeal tends to go down and down and down. And I like to think of it as this way. It's almost like being attractive and having a high SMV and being confident can almost be like its own race in itself. Because at the end of the day, if you're attractive and you have your shit together, that ultimately shatters a lot of that race niche appeal stuff, right? Whereas if you're just like an average guy, you're not confident, you don't work on your looks, you got nothing going for you, and you're like a minority in America, it's tough, right? Especially, a lot of Indian guys that kind of, like you were saying earlier, it's like they like to flex kind of like with their money if they're like a doctor and an engineer, right? One of those popular fields. But then it's like, they don't work on the other stuff outside of money. So it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
So I like to tell guys it's so important that even though, yeah, it's going to be harder when you're a minority, it's going to be harder regardless. If you're like in another minority, not just Indian, but what you find is the more that you make yourself more attractive and the more that you work on social skills, having at least basic social skills, the better your dating options get. And I've noticed, with dating apps at first, it was like I was taking really dumb pictures. Like they weren't high quality photos. A lot of them were like half-assed photos. I thought at the time they were like pretty good photos, but then, over the years, I've experimented so much with different photos, what works, what doesn't, that now it's come to a point where I could probably go on easily 3 to 4 dates every single week. And I'm not saying that to brag, it's just the effort that I've put in to like my style, my looks, my physique. And I've really portrayed my lifestyle on like dating apps where it's like I'm getting matches, of every race. I'm probably getting a lot more white matches than one would expect for like an Indian guy. So
That's
I guess the big point to kind of hone in on here is the fact that, yeah, it's tougher as a minority in like a Western country for sure. I know you could probably agree to that because you probably coached a lot of Indian guys also, obviously. But
yeah, definitely,
the more
definitely.
attractive you make yourself, the more you've worked on yourself with like your style, your looks, and then you add in that piece where you're not insecure, you're confident, you have solid social skills. It really shatters a lot of those like negative stereotypes.
Yeah, definitely. But sometimes I see like, yeah, that's true. But and I do agree with this thing that sometimes Indians have this kind of because the upbringing, like if you have a good job, if you are like earning big money and all, then it will be all easier. And they develop this kind of this ego that we are high value guy, we high status guy. But
Right.
then again, it is they don't understand that these things are not really make any kind of positive impact if you have not other things handled in life. I
Right.
have many guys came from USA, actually they are in IT consultant. If you know this, IIT in India is very famous
Yeah, yeah.
engineering, very prestigious internationally.
Yeah, it's like the
So
MIT
guys,
of US. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so some the guys from IIT, they came to me actually. And one time I was talking to my father, like my father wanted me to be in IIT engineer. I never even did the engineering, actually, master
Oh,
degree.
no.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
so I said to my father, like, these IITians, they are coming to me to learn game, so we discuss. And this is something this is something the same thing what you have in USA is the same thing in UK, is the same thing in Europe also. And yeah, this is people have to think, people have to change in a way that it's now, if they want to survive in dating market, in the Western dating market, then they have to work on all their, like all this field, like okay, money part. Normally Indian, Southeast Asians, they have the money part handled, but this physical aspect and also the game aspect, also something like they have to focus on. I usually like my what I like, what do you think about what is your opinion on the game part? Like, or you are the guy who is also who's focusing only on the looks part, or how much the game involvement is in your teachings?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, man. I've always believed that looks, if you have like the looks, it'll be substantially easier as opposed to somebody who doesn't. I think looks will get you faster into the door compared to somebody who doesn't have the looks. However, right, if you suggest the looks and you have absolutely no like social skills at all, yeah, maybe you'll get like a couple one night stands here and there.
Hmm.
But I think a lot of times guys, they say that's what they want, but I think deep down they do want that relationship. And I know to really sustain that connection and get multiple dates with that girl and take it to that next level and really develop that connection, you need some type of game or social skills or whatever you like to call it. You need some type of substance to you. You need to be able to interact. You need to be able to create that spark, create that connection, right? It's like imagine going on a date, right? Just because the girl thinks you're attractive and then it doesn't lead to anything, right? Yeah, if you meet her in the bar or nightclub, sure, it could lead to like a one night stand. But
Hmm.
beyond that, it's kind of like if you have no social skills, if you don't know how to talk to women like at all, it's kind of like it's not going to really lead you past, just one night stands all the time. And then it's, some guys like that, but from what I've seen, it's like a lot of guys really do want that relationship. And in order to get there, you need to have skills talking to women. There's no way around that. So definitely, I think from what I would say is looks will get you into the door faster compared to somebody who doesn't have that image. But either way, you do need some type of like social skills for sure. I do think when it comes to game and pickup, right? When you do like cold approach, like I said earlier, the girl will be more receptive if you're like a better looking guy. But at the same time, if you're like absolutely obnoxious and say weird shit when you're like talking to the girl and don't know how to like just talk to girls in general, it's going to be a lot harder. So you do need, the game and the social skills, at least to
Hmm.
a certain aspect. I don't, necessarily think you need super advanced game if you're a very good looking person. But I do think, regardless of however you look, like the social aspect is definitely important. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like in some way, I do agree. Like for one thing, like what you said, like if you remember, there is a one guy, Indian psychiatrist, Dr. K. Actually, I think you must be knowing that he's quite happy GG gamer, something like that. He's making Dr. K, um, um, something like that. So he said that, um, um, g- like, it is about getting laid. Like, incels are not getting laid. That's why they are frustrated. I wanted to make reaction, but I didn't get the time. But it is actually the thing is not about getting laid. It is about getting laid by the person who you desire, and that affection should be there. Like that
Yeah.
the female energy or the female desires you, and you want that kind of this, and then with that person also you are getting laid. That is more important. That affection is what people are looking for, not just getting laid. Because of course when it comes to getting laid, you can pay, you can go, to these
Yeah. I
places,
mean,
but it is not what they
technically,
desire.
if we look at it just from like getting laid, I mean, technically anybody could get laid, right? I mean, you could go to a country that like you just pay for it, right? But at the end of the day, I agree. It's like, you're not going to be truly deeply happy if you're not getting laid by the girls you find attractive or desirable. You know what I mean? And I feel
Yes.
like even so, it's like, yeah, you could pay for play, but at the end of the day, like that's not, I feel like a lot of Indian guys still deep down wouldn't be satisfied because it's not like what they truly desired, the woman that they like truly desire.
Yeah, and I have guys actually come to the boot camp, and they literally like go out with me. I mean, they have to pay, but they are looking to get uh, a wife or girlfriend, and I
Yeah,
have to plan my training in such a way that it is not about like getting laid immediately, but you have to like, and then
right.
sometimes it training goes a bit longer because then I have to guide when they are in the date with the girl, something like that. So
Yeah,
definitely this is something I have seen, it is not about getting late, it is about getting late with the person who like you desire, and getting this kind of affection, this companionship. And
yeah,
yeah, this is something is very like what we say, um, people like a lot of these dating gurus or self-help guys, they think that incels are not getting laid, that's why they are like frustrated. But this is not the case, at all. They are like some other things they have to think about. So right now you are working, this is like this is your main job, or you are doing some, this is like you have some side job, maybe you're IT or in your something, and you're doing on the side this thing, or how it is?
yeah. So no, yeah, I have a couple jobs. So this is one of my businesses.
Hmm.
Very like it wasn't monetized the first year and a half. I'm still not monetized technically by YouTube. I think I need like I'm almost there, not yet, but I am getting money from it from like my product, my course. So
Okay.
successfully, I've launched this business about a month ago. So really happy I have a couple clients, and that's like finally starting up. So yeah, no, this is one of my income streams. I'm also an online personal trainer. That's another one of my income streams as well. That's like
Okay.
that's what I do, like kind of off YouTube. I use Instagram for that. My main personal Instagram, I don't know if you ever looked at it, but it's all about like online personal training. I help single Indian guys who are out of shape develop a more attractive physique so they can increase their sex appeal to women.
Okay.
But it's online personal training, diet, lifting, fitness, health, all that. That's my second entrepreneurship, my second business. And then my third one, I have a job in project management. That's like my 9 to 5 job. But
Okay.
it's remote. Um, I I don't know if I'm gonna go into too much detail on that just because of the nature of the stuff we do when we're teaching
Okay, so
guys
it's like a typical
swimming and
IT kind
stuff.
of job or something.
Yeah, yeah, I have a job in like IT project management. So yeah, man, it's been pretty busy juggling, 3 jobs, but I'm
So
happy
yeah.
about it. Always working. Yeah, it's funny because we
Yeah.
teach guys about dating, but then I sometimes look at myself. I'm like, damn, I haven't been going on that many dates recently. I'm always working all the time.
Yeah,
But
that's like that.
yeah,
Sometimes this is the one. Sometimes the grind is heavy. And one thing, I did you do you see it? It is also like like establishing yourself as a dating coach in the Western. Like, okay, you are born in USA, but you still have that Indian origin kind of thing,
yeah.
so do you think that like sometimes establishing yourself as a dating coach is a bit tougher than if you would be like a white dating coach or something like that? You will be more accepted in the American audience or Western audience. Do you find these things?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question, man. It's crazy, right? Like when you're a minority, especially in a country like America, you just get so much hate. And I will say, I think just the fact that it's just harder to grow a business if you're a minority in America. It's just harder. But again, it's like at the same time, it's much more rewarding knowing that you're like a minority and you're actually able to help like other people develop. But I
Yeah.
do think, you do get a lot more criticism, especially when it comes to like just like cold approach and like infield or like just talking to other women, like compared to like a white guy who gets rejected. I feel like you get a lot more heavily criticized when you're like a minority doing it. But it's like you see other guys who don't have that great of, I guess, game or social skills post like their infield, right? But then you got guys in the comments like saying like, "Oh, awesome job, good job." And then it's like when a brown guy does it, it's like, "Oh, you're so cringy. Oh, you suck. Oh, you have no game." Very well know the reason is because like you're a minority and you're not white, but it's BS
Yeah.
because they're not that great, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can tell you my experience. So it was like it was interesting when I was like I thought like when I 2013 when I started, I thought that okay, looks do matters, but race thing I was not really that much focus on. Then what happens was like we have in Germany this kind of in the old days there were like layer like Berlin layer, maybe layer thing, they pick up layer kind of thing. So
yeah,
okay, let's do the pickup dating coach kind of business in Germany. And it was I came with the very good ideas like in this Europe, like the guy who is doing same day lay kind of thing. It was very new, so everybody was like just maybe talking to the girl or something. I came up with the idea of same day lay, or like showing instant date on the streets, something
yeah,
like that. And so it was some dating coaches from Germany, they actually appreciated that, oh, this guy is coming with the new ideas. So for example, there is a girl walking on the street and I just she is not really interested, and I do game and game and game, after 30 minutes going instant date and all this showing it. And then this good looking dating coach from Germany, and he saw this thing. Oh, that's a good idea, that's a good thing. So he just go to the girl, hey, blah blah blah, 1 minute he just take the girl like for the instant date, or like in some
yeah,
situation taking girl home. And I was just saying to myself like it is very hard to compete, man. And they say, oh, Deepak, you look, Deepak, he's very unauthentic, the girl is not interested in him, the girl want to run away, and then he's just fighting. And look at the game of this guy, it is so smooth like a butter. And then so we have to learn and then I was really like pissed off at that time that how I will compete, you know.
right,
And literally I noticed that I'm getting like 500 views. I put like same delay, put 500 views. He put the same stuff, he get like 50,000 views. And he did
yeah,
learn from me, that ideas he learned from me,
yeah,
and that really like pisses me off. And then was one of the reason I said, okay, let's do the international is slightly some kind of acceptance, but I still see it is very much bias. And I don't know
yeah,
if you have noticed this thing. One thing you have, if you have noticed that when it comes to like a race who is going to a different race to learn game, then it will be the Indian race who is going to the white dating coaches to learn game.
yeah, yeah,
It will
yeah,
be like, for example, the black people will always first choose a black dating coach.
yeah,
Asian guys, they choose Asian dating coach, more or less. But Indian guys, have you noticed this thing? Indian guys,
yeah.
they are
It's always the
hating
white
Indian
thing.
dating coach. I'm not saying everyone. Sorry,
A
I'm not
lot of
like
them.
everyone, but but this is something I've seen, and I have talked about it on my channel also. And
Yeah,
I think like this is something why Indians do it, is because deep inferiority complex in Southeast Asian community, that we are bad. Tatti means shit. We are bad.
yeah, yeah,
White people, Western people are better. We are Tatti. They are better than us, and that's why we should learn from them. Oh, Nair or Deepak, they are like Tatti like us. Why should we learn from them? We should go to them.
yeah. And it's like you could post as many, I guess, receipts or B-roll of you with like women. You could post your screenshots of like your matches. Even then, they're still not going to trust you. So at this
They
point, I'm kind of like, what's the point?
exactly.
Yeah,
You know
it's like,
what happens was like when we started
yeah,
like this kind of showing the videos, and like from USA,
they'll say it's
everywhere, like
fake
this
somehow.
guy
But
is,
like,
they
yeah,
said this guy is not getting laid, this guy is just doing fake bounce back, this guy is not banging this girl. He's doing face bounce back. Fake bounce back means like taking the girl home and not just like on the friendly basis, and then cut off the scene. And then okay, so then I said to my friend, like, at that time, there was like few comments were coming on the channel. I said like, this gonna be a big problem. So I have to show intimacy in the bedroom at that time. And so before it become bigger, I started to show that, uh, intimacy moment with the girl have approached. So to that level I showed. And then what they said that time, for like jealous guys, like, and they were like all like, like white dating coaches. They said, this guy is paying these girls, look at his English, look at this English language, like this, like he cannot speak proper English, and how he can get. So I said, okay, then all Americans or British, why they are learning game, because they speak better English than me. So it is not about English language. So then I have to I was jobless, like hustling. So I have to show my financial bank statement, these reports on the YouTube, to make it to people to believe that,
Yeah.
like, I don't even have money to get hire girls. They said I'm
Yeah,
like hiring
sounds like
prostitutes. I'm hiring
you went
girls.
all in on you went
Huh?
all in on proving them wrong. I probably would have just not even I just ignored it, but yeah.
Yeah, the problem is that, once you are not, if you do not speak, if somebody's like hurting, then sometimes that narrative become the truth. So sometimes you have to defend it,
Yeah.
because everybody say, oh, this guy has said, so this must be true. And then I have to challenge all these guys. I have to do this thing. So it was like I have deal with so much drama, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's just. And then sometimes, like, sometimes I just, you do your best, you show rationally, you explain people like you are better, like if I am as Indian or you are as, like, then if there is a girl, if a girl, you approach the girl and you get the girl, and a good looking white guy get the girl, you definitely need more game, more, like, more power you need. And that's why you are better than, and when it comes to teaching skills, then you are better. And I have like explained it, these things to the people also. But sometimes, it is very much kind of racial, these things.
Yeah, it's definitely tough when you're like seeing other people, just like kind of tear you down, and it's like excuse after excuse was to like why you're like getting the result. People will come up with anything these days, man. But no, I like what you're saying about the other like Indian guys go to like white dating coaches. No, that's something I've
Yes.
noticed a lot, which I've found like very interesting. Because usually, like I have another friend who's like a dating coach. He's actually a black dating coach, right? And he's had clients that are like Indian. He's had like white clients too. But it's interesting how like when you're a specific minority, like just like an Indian dating coach, it's like so much harder to just get clients. Where it's like you have a white dating coach starting out and versus like an Indian coach starting out, it's so harder to like get clients for sure compared to like the white dating coach. But
Yeah.
like I said, it's harder in like business just in general when you're a minority. But
Yeah, that and that's 100%, like. And I saw like, some guys, like, some white guy, like British guy or from USA, they open the channel and then show some, like, cool videos, cool to look at. And they're not even showing too much. They just like, some funny conversation with the girl, getting the number, Instagram, that is more than enough. And then they don't really need to show anything more than that. Actually, there was a
yeah,
one guy from Netherlands. He came to do the boot camp with me. And he said that he did four boot camps. Four boot camps he did, and all four were like white guys. Nobody was able to bring him success. And then he said that, and then I said, like, I was saying to myself, like, like, the girl who got fucked by like everyone, and then finally they are coming. You understand? I'm not getting the virgins. So then he said,
Yeah.
I said, like, why you came to me, man? So he said, like, because your game is this. So I did like boot camp with him, and I got him like, actually, like he was like tough situation, and got him almost like girl, in the sense like somehow the like girl he was dating it, like she left. So now this guy is coming to me again, actually, because he saw that my system bring results to him, though I am not his race. He's like, from Netherlands.
Yeah.
But when he's going to his own people, they were just not getting him, just like, hey, you're cute, or like just simple like conversation, and not going anywhere. So this is something I it is also like a good thing, or it's also like a frustrating that normally sometimes people try a lot, and then they say, okay, like, we are not getting results, let's try, okay, let's try the last resort kind of thing. So
Yeah.
sometimes, I have seen these things also. But I think that with Indians, like Southeast Asians, this is something we still have, like lot of, like from this area, this, like, continent, people have this colonial mindset. Maybe you are agree or not agree that, like, they are better than us. So if someone like us is reaching to their level, then how it can happen?
Right.
Indian, or this Indian stereotype, or the stereotype is more like a doctor, engineer, nerd kind of job.
Yeah.
But when it comes to swag, when it comes to, like, popular, like cool guy, we are not. And we should
Yeah.
look up to other people to become
Yeah.
cool and to become like. So this is something we should change, actually.
Yeah, no, I talk about it in videos before, how when you shatter like the negative stereotypes, right? And I think there's been other dating coaches that have mentioned this too, but when you shatter like, a lot of like those stereotypes, right? So like not always just talking about like your job all the time, or not always flexing about your job, right? Like dressing better, hygiene, grooming. That's like a big thing that a lot of Indian guys I noticed like straight off the bat struggle with, right? They just don't have that edge, right? That fashion sense, the style, the grooming. There's a lot of like stereotypes that are made, especially in like America, right? It's like every TV show, like the nerdy
Hmm.
tech guy is like an Indian guy, right? The nerd of like, the cast that they direct for like a movie is usually some type of ethnic like Indian guy. So I think you gotta like shatter that stereotype to a certain extent when you're like dating in a country like America, because there's just a lot of like negative stereotypes on Indian men. So that's something I really preach. It's like, do your best to like shatter a lot of those stereotypes, right? So just
Yeah.
dressing better,
Uh,
style, grooming, fitness. And I'm not even saying to like reduce, the accent that crazily or anything like that. But if you're just confident and you own who you are, but really, maximize the things you actually can control, right? I mean, you'll get some type of result, right? If you're just really, putting in all your effort. Not saying you gotta, do anything crazy and just like be like super inauthentic and not be and like get rid of like your cultural background. I actually think, a lot of white women, when I've traveled like to the South, right? They actually, when I've gone to Texas, they actually kind of do find culturally Indian guys kind of interesting because they're so used to seeing like white dudes all the time. If you actually go down to like a state like in Tennessee or like Texas or something like that, from my experience, I've actually had success in there because those girls over a certain period of time, they get tired of, hooking up with like the same like white guys all the time. Their minds kind of like get curious, like, oh, he looks different, like, because it's like kind of natural, right? When you see somebody
yes.
like different from you, your kind of curiosity level goes up. And women, they think a lot more like emotionally, right? They see like another guy, their curiosity that doesn't look like the rest of like the boring classic white dudes, right? Their curiosity is gonna go kind of, it's gonna go up there. And when you're like an ethnic guy, right? Say from, India or like, the Middle East, Dubai, right? But like you've really taken care of yourself, like your style, grooming, hygiene. You can talk to women, right? You just have all of that going for you. And you travel to like southern countries there, the women are so used to just seeing white dudes all the time. Actually sometimes gives you an advantage, believe it or not, because they're like, oh my God, this guy's like, he's cool. He's like tall, dark, handsome. Like he's like looks different. Like I want to know more about him. He's like not the same like average like white dude that we see every weekend. So if you'd really take care of yourself as a minority, you'll realize and make yourself more and more attractive, right? You actually
Yeah.
do have, I'd argue, you actually do have a good amount of opportunities, even in like in a country of in America. So
Yeah, and I think like the Indians, like Southeast Asians, they have to improve their inner game. And one thing is also is like never be ashamed of your origin. This is something,
yeah,
no matter like whatever people say. Like for the black people, I have this respect that they are not ashamed of being seen they're from African origin in a way that they are not seeing like I don't know, maybe you don't think like that, but what one thing I have seen, the guys who are west born Indian origin, they see India as a bit slightly like this like slightly negative way, do not want to associate or something. And this is something like because if you're not like if you're not accepting, you're not like you're all the time ashamed about your origin, then you will never able to develop that strong inner game in the Western society. And this is something because when I came to Europe, I was suffering the same kind of this mindset that, oh, white people are cooler than me, or this and this and this. We Indians are like, because this is how I grown up. Even my father, like, this English, oh, speak English, these things. So I grew up in that environment. And when I came and I saw like what I noticed was like I hang around with a lot of Arab guys actually from Morocco and from Turkey and all. And I was shocked the type of girls they were getting. And then I asked them also sometimes, but they are like naturals, they cannot explain me. We're talking about 2010, 11. And then I noticed that they are like they have a really solid inner game. Okay, the other things were also there, and that's something I started to implement in my personality. And I noticed after that I really like you know uh, saw the success. And
yeah,
then I try to live up to it in such a way that I see myself like, okay, I'm in the West, I see myself as successful with the girls, but I'm proud of who I am. I am also seeing other Indians, even they're like, okay, I born there, but like you, everyone as the same level as me, we should not push each other down. And I try to live up to this thing that we don't see that, oh, like for example, you are like born and when you think like Bangladesh, oh, I don't know, man, like these people, so you try to dissociate. So it is like you are trying to ashamed of your origin. And this is
yeah,
something Southeast Asian people need to be proud of, need to be have this kind of this, what we say, like black people have this thing, man, like, and they are all collectively together. This is something Indian origin, like Indian, Pakistani, Southeast Asian, they should have this kind of collectiveness. And um,
yeah. It's kind of sad to to see that for sure. And again, I think I don't know. I guess it's you talked about like the inferiority, like complex, whatever. Because I think Indians, right? Like we've always been very competitive when it comes to like everything, right? Even like school, like academics, it's always like competition, competition. Like, oh, you've seen it like, oh, my kid went to MIT, oh, my kid went to Harvard, my kid got like a 4.0, my kid is like, oh, doing well, he went to this school. It's always just competition a lot of times with Indian men instead of like supporting each other. And I think when it comes to social aspects too, there's like this deep down like just competitiveness that like growing up, and maybe you could relate to this too, where it's like your parents always pushed you to be like very like like the best that you can be, right? Maybe they compared you to like your cousins, or they compared you to like other Indian like family friends, like, oh, this guy's doing this, why can't you do it like this, right? I think it just naturally, like, this competitive stuff that happens when you're raised in like an Indian household starts translating into other aspects of life. And unfortunately, when it comes to like social stuff like dating, that kind of gets there too, where it's like Indian guys, when they see other Indian guys like be successful, instead of, like hyping them up and being happy, they kind of get angry a bit. It's like, oh, I could do better. Oh, he must be paying. Oh, this is a fraud video. Oh, they must like, be paying, have like a paying agreement. Oh, how did he get a girlfriend, right? And I didn't. It's like a lot of competitiveness, I think. I'm just
Uh,
growing up.
com- Competitiveness can be, but competitiveness is in all races. It will be like white people also competitive, and like Asians and all. It is something like that is a common factor among male, like, population, or man, like, we are competitive. But I think like this, the way we are grown up, the way we are taught by our parents, like education system and all that, you know and like Indian Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is a part of India, like in one way. So like ruled by, like, Westerners, like, England, and
Yeah.
250 years of colonization. And this is something like Indians, I feel like mentally colonization, this inferiority complex is also playing a big role. Competitiveness is there. What one time, like, actually what happens, um, uh, actually, there was a one guy, like 2 weeks ago. He came from you. He called me from USA, and then he said that, this. I want to improve my dating life, and then he
Yeah.
was talking to about one American dating coach. I don't want to use his name. And then I said that, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, this American dating coach made a video about me, and then I gave the response video, I gave the like challenge, and he's like a fraud. He's just living in Brazil and
Wait, they
all.
they made a video about him, the client? Or,
This American video dating coach made a roast video about me, and then I made
oh, about you?
yeah, and then I make a response
Oh, okay.
video, and then this, and then I said like, it is already proven by other people also, he's a fraud, and you see like, and then he said, no, he is giving guarantee, he's a good, and he has proof, and this, and recept, and all. And then I said like, why you're talking to me even then, like, no, but you have better game, but he also is good in this thing. And I was just saying to myself in one way that even if, for example, even if, like, as an outsider, I rationally prove that I'm better, a white dating coach will be, even he is doing scam or something, he will be more accepted by the like majority of the audience, and something like that. And this is how it is. And sometimes I see this kind of, this racial bias in the dating market. But
Yeah.
that's how it is. And I have seen this. There was a one time I was in Prague. There was a one, British dating coach. He was like far right, who is literally hating minorities. Yeah.
Yeah.
So literally he was at that time on the Twitter writing, a lot of bad stuff about minorities. When I saw him, he was surrounded by 12 brown guys. 10 to 12 brown guys. He was doing
Wow.
boot camp in Prague, and I was saying like, these guys are not even seeing that these guys are what he's writing on the Twitter. 10,
Yeah.
10 to 12 brown guys he was surrounded by.
That's wild, man. That's crazy. It's funny because you would think that just because when you're like an Indian guy, you would think that brown guys would want to work with you more because there's that relatability kind of factor. It's like, oh, here's a guy who's just like me, same culture, same language, somebody who at one point struggled, but he's figured it out. I can relate more to him. I should work with him as opposed to a guy who's, a 6'4" white dude like making pickup videos who they can't relate to as much, right? You would think that should be the case how it goes. And I guess a lot of guys just don't think that way. So they'll jump to, whoever they see just post, receipts or like just so many, random like testimonials from just like random people from different backgrounds. It's kind of like, people don't really think it's like who can I really connect with as a coach who's relatable to me, as opposed to just like, oh, this guy, he just gets laid all the time. Look at all these receipts. It's like people don't think that way though. It's like there's more to it than just, watching someone's YouTube videos or watching someone like roasting you on YouTube and thinking, oh, this guy knows so much about dating, when it's like they don't think about it from like the other lens. It's like, who personally could I relate to that gives me the best shot at like improving my dating life? And a lot of guys unfortunately don't think of it that way.
Yeah, and there's like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Peterson. So one video he said that like system should be tested in the toughest difficulty level, and so people need to see is like, okay, like this guy is able to bring results, then what are the circumstances? And as we already discussed, race, looks, even height and all the stuff play a factor. And then after these factors, you see like how much the game requirement you need to have, how much like game and personality requirement you have. If you have these physical factors are really good in your favor, then the personality requirement slightly will be less. And when you are going to a dating coach, you are learning the game, the personality, the pickup, and that is the only transferable. You cannot the looks, the height, the accent, even the race cannot be transferred. The skills is what, like, it's the same thing. If you see like a American tech company is hiring a local white guy, but then they saw the talent in USA, in India or in Bangladesh or in these places, then they see the talent. They are not looking, oh, how good he is, like how cool he's looking. They see the talent and they just hire him. And when it comes to dating, people don't understand it.
No, I think definitely the benefit from like dating coaches and like the pickup stuff, definitely the social aspect, 100% for sure. Because anybody online can look up looks maxing and how to like make themselves look better, but you'd be surprised how bad some people are with just like communicating with women, man. Well, I guess you've done this for so long, you're not surprised, but
yeah. Like, so that's how I've seen, like, and I have this question, like, that is interesting, like, this character Apu in Simpsons. So because I mean you are from USA, so you must be knowing much more, because Simpsons was not that popular in my time.
I've seen it.
So and like there were some Indian guys. Some Indians were like they were saying that it should not be banned, and they were like supportive of this character, and some Indians were not supportive of this character. And so what is your opinion, like if it should be removed, or it should be supportive, or something like that?
So you're saying they're like trying to get rid of this character or something?
No, the character has already got ridden. The character is not there, I guess. But no, like when it was the issue, I think a few years ago, then there were some Indian, like, some Indian guys from USA, Indian origin guys. I think there's a comedian Akash Singh or something like that. So they were very much supportive that the character should stay, the comedy should go on like this. But there were some group of Indians. There were some group of Indians. They said that the character should be removed.
Interesting. No, I don't think the character should be removed. I mean, did he, like, it's a cartoon? Well, at face value, right? At the end of the day, it's like it's a stupid cartoon. Like, I don't care if like the character's like whatever race it is, right? It's a cartoon. But if we're looking at it like on a deeper level, right? It doesn't make sense really to remove. I don't think anybody should be canceled or removed unless they do something horrific.
In my opinion, it is that, like, I think the problem is that, okay, they make a very hardcore Indian accent character. Can they do the same thing with some African origin guy from Uganda or from something like that?
They could
And
easily,
they will,
yeah.
I didn't they I think they didn't do something like that, because all the black community become furious. So one of the and I think it is better to remove, because Indian stereotype has no positive attachment, Southeast Asian stereotype. So when this stereotype is being seen in aired in the
Oh, I see what you
all
mean.
over,
Yeah,
then the when the girls say, "Oh, I'm from India," then they will see this character. You understand? So because there is no
yeah,
positive stereotype attached for Indians, and then it's look like like a joke kind of thing. So that's, I think
yeah,
this is humble opinion, in the sense that it should be removed. If Indian stereotype has a positive thing attached, then something negative is not really bothering that much.
yeah. Yeah,
Affect
no,
the stereotype,
I
because there is no
understand. It's
other.
definitely it's tough. Yeah, it's tough when it's like you're in a country with so many already like negative stereotypes, and then it's like just more fuel to like the fire and stuff like that. So I can definitely see both ways. How did you I don't think I asked you, how did you get into like this space? Did you like want growing up, did you want to be like a dating coach, or did you just kind of stumble upon it because you were bored
No,
with like a
no.
something in your IT
I never
job?
wanted. I wanted to be a electronic and telecommunication engineer. So
Uh,
no, I never wanted to be a dating coach. Um, I lost you.
am I good
Yeah,
now?
you're back. Yeah, you're
Okay.
back. So no, it was no. Actually, when I came in 2006, and then I have some issue with the relation, and then when I started to the game, then actually at that time there was no like Indian stereotype like dating coach or something like
Yeah.
that. And definitely I was, I mean, honestly, I was suffering with this colonial mindset that, I can learn from these guys. I mean, I went to the boot camp of a guy. I don't know if you know. I think you will not be knowing. There was a guy, RSD Brad. He was like Abercrombie, like on that 6'2", blonde, one of the best looking guy in as a dating coach, because his game was so smooth and chill. I thought like I would learn. I will
Yeah.
just go to the girl. Hey, how are you? And this is how I
Yeah.
need to do learn the game. So so I was affected
Crazy
by
because
this
that's
thing.
such basic like conversation skills, but then it's like when you're that good looking, you could get away with being like, "Hey, how's it going? Let's get a coffee. Here's my number," right?
So if
Yeah,
I have no idea about these things, then I will think I will learn. Why should I learn from the guy who is all the time getting resistance? I will learn from this guy, because that's
yeah,
how I want to be. And so at that time I did, and then like it definitely like now there are like a lot of resources, but there at that time was like, I mean, still till now the dating community is, honestly, dating market is dominated by white guys. At that time
oh,
it
yeah,
was like a lot. And then I tried everything, was not getting results. So 2012 I was just like, oh, I have to do the coding, but I'm not getting late. And then my boss said that, oh, you are doing so much errors in the code, and what you are doing and all. You have not done the Java certification, and this and that. It is 1 year, and then you have to do the
right.
Java certification. I said, oh, fuck, what certification? I'm not fucking getting late, man. I was saying to myself, what is this fucking certification? I do. And then I asked my boss. I asked like I was seeing my boss, like my team leader, actually not boss, team leader, okay, senior consultant, and he's
Yeah,
also like suffering in his dating life. My other guy like other programmer, like colleague, was suffering in his dating life. um, and then I said, like, I was saying to myself, like, even if I get like 5,000 more, maybe I do the certification, I get some more money, maybe 500 euro per month increase in the
yeah,
income. Will it solve my problem of getting laid? Then I said, no, it is not going to work. So I was put even more time. And then 2013 they said, like, we are going to fire you. I said like, I don't care. I'm not getting late anyway. So they fired me from
Right.
the job. So
Wow.
February, so they fired me from the job, and then I was like, my I said to my friends that, oh, you have to search a new job, this, and I said like, no,
Yeah.
dude, now I have a full time to first I have to get this handled. So in 2013, I was like going out every day, like 7 days a week for 3 months straight, 90 days,
Yeah.
6, 7 hours, and testing everything, lot of stuff, lot of like testing in the evening, going back home, seeing what is working, going out in the morning, testing and checking like what is working,
And
what is not working,
you're just running, like you're just approaching women like night,
approaching.
daytime.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because at that time the game was the only thing. The looks part was not that kind of strong. So game was the only thing that like uh, people were focusing on. And then I started to got results in by the end of 3 months. I started got result, and then I at that time I bring one my friend. He came to Berlin at that time, and then I teached him. Also he got results. He saw that, oh, like fuck getting number, take the girl home. This I he learned from me. And then we decided, then I was having the options, I should go back to my job, or then we thought like, why not we teach it to the people who are suffering in their dating life. And then I came in this business, as a dating
I see.
coach. So
Yeah. Did you back then though, did you like have a lot of like struggle when it came to like teaching people when you like first started? Was there like a lot of like how did you guys like back then teach people? Because I know today it's a little easier because you had like audio recordings, you could listen to like other people, other students and stuff. Back then, was it kind of the same way, or was it more so like you just saw the interaction from a distance and then they come report to you like, oh, this
no,
didn't
no,
go
I
too
have
well?
no, we I'm a very I was a very like I'm a like nerd tech guy. So I
Oh,
was
see,
even
okay,
that time the thing with the problem was like I knew it, that if it is not easy for me to get students, but if somebody is coming, then I have to put my best effort to bring him results. It is not just,
yeah,
oh, just go and talk to girl and like 3 minutes, and then I will get another client and another client and another client. So
yeah,
I have to get a good testimonial, I have to show him real results, I have to get him laid, I have to get him girlfriend. So then, because it is already tough for me, so then we have this kind of equipment already at that time also. And even one of my
okay,
like I'm still using it actually, with like German brand Sennheiser, from
gotcha,
there like wireless, you can listen also, something like that
yeah,
we used. And uh, definitely like the I definitely like what we say do really good is like in-ear coaching. So if somebody's going out on the street, so exactly I'm listening to what he's talking to the girl, and
right,
exactly word by word, line by line, I can improve exact the flirt, exact like which emotion need to
yeah,
project, based on the student, based on the girl. That is something I specialize and I teach, like that's, and I
yeah,
notice this brings the really good results also,
awesome, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I will say, man, if on my in my course, I have a module in there where it's all about like cold approach, and I'll say this, man, recording that stuff is like it's hard. It's hard recording infield because there's so much stuff that could just go wrong. I was doing it. I gotta like you get so much like shit footage sometimes too because you have to be like super careful, right? Sometimes you could be out there for like hours recording it. So yeah, no, I was surprised how difficult it is just recording infield and trying to like have like you have the microphone and then you have someone recording you in the distance and you have like a transmitter and then it's like you have to make sure like it's like tucked in under your shirt. So I didn't it's very difficult recording infield for sure. That was something that when I was building up like my course, I was like, wow, this takes a long time. So that's why
Yeah,
like
I do
for like teaching just like
that's
pickup, I've always been like dating app focused on like my course and stuff. But when I added like the infield module, I got like all the equipment. I was like, wow, takes a while to really record all that. So no, props to you, and like it's the guys that only teach like the pickup social skills aspect of it. For me, it took a while to just get a bunch of infield clips, and that took me like normal multiple tries to like get the audio right, make sure there's even you go to a location where there's like enough foot traffic, right? So it's definitely tough.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
thing is like you have to keep one thing in also in mind that, for example, um, if I see this guy like RSD Brad, at that time doing infield. So if a good looking guy, if a good looking white guy going to the street, he just need maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, he get a good really quality
infield
infield
interact.
clip.
Yeah,
And now if I am going, i need I need to fucking on that kind of
it's
god
an
mode in my
8 hour job.
mind. And it is
Yeah,
just like a tough job. I mean, it just, I mean, I have to be honest, it is not like
yeah,
I just go out and then just all the girls are open their legs for me.
yeah,
It is not gonna
right.
be. It's
Because
just
it's
like,
like it's not they're just sitting there not doing anything. No, they're with family, they're with friends. They're just like
no,
doing
yeah,
their
but
own
also
thing.
like
You get
as
a
an
lot of
Indian
negative
guy,
reactions. Yeah,
I mean, it is a slightly tougher job also. That's like, and
yeah,
what you are saying is also, if you are going out as like you are going out, or as some like a white American guy, there will be a difference. That's why the and what
yeah,
we say, barrier in the entry in this field also like tougher for us, because even the infield
yeah,
clips, it is, you have to put slightly more grinding, more hustle.
yeah,
Yeah, makes sense, because it is not gonna be like you
yeah.
just go out and then the girl is like ready. So
Yeah, that's
something
one
like
thing
this.
I've definitely been noticing. When I was building like the infield module, just getting like 5 clips, man, that takes so long. And it's like I'm not even done like constructing it. I'm just like in a couple of weeks go back out there, film, record more and more and more. And yeah, and definitely right now in the US it's so hot. Well, it's hot in India too, but like yeah, right now just like so hot, humid, it's summer, not a lot of people are out, but you got to do what you got to do, right, to build your
Yeah,
brand.
yeah.
But it's definitely tough building infield for
Yeah,
sure.
this is also like, I also have this product actually, dating infield actually. I was It was always, I never wanted to show my infield, because I was saying to like, to myself or my other friends
Yeah,
also, that listen, like, I can see clear difference that this guy, this a good looking guy on the YouTube, he just go and just talk to girl, and then girl gave the number and all, and he show his complete uncut infield, and there is not too much. You can go out and do the same thing, it's not going to bring anything to you, and then you will think that, oh, something is missing.
yeah,
But when I show my infield, there are like a lot of technical things I do, which if somebody can do, they can
right,
get results, because it's a pure
yeah,
game. And that's why I was always hesitated to show my complete, you know kind of uncut infield. But now, like, I have
right,
also decided like to show, I have also the product like dating infields domination,
yeah,
and there I have shown my infield complete from start till end, as well as my students from like start till end.
yeah,
Also students from UK, from UK, also from USA, from Vegas, from New York, actually, from these places also I have shown. So now I said, like, I'm right now, like, I will be 46. I have nothing to, what we say, nothing to hide,
lose,
in the sense
yeah,
like, you know show your best stuff and let's see how it goes, something like that.
yeah,
So but yeah, definitely infield part is like kind of, you know it's a bit tough job, but we have to do it. Imagine, like,
yeah,
if you're not showing infield, even people from your own
tough,
race will not
yeah,
believe.
yeah, definitely tough,
People,
man.
if you have we have to show infield, because
Yeah,
even our own race will not going to believe.
right.
There is a one guy, there's a one guy, Locario. There's a black dating coach, Locario or something. Some.
Yeah,
I don't really see his infields, but he has a big support of black audience.
You'd be
He's a big
surprised because a
support
lot
of.
of the online dating guys, they don't show that much infield at
They
all.
don't need to. They don't need to.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's a racial support, but we don't. If we don't show, even I said on my YouTube channel, if I don't show infield, I will not even get my students,
yeah,
and just not like just a number close. When they will say, "Oh, this guy from Delhi," this just showing them. Maybe in your case, slightly advantage. You are American born, but this guy from Delhi, he's not able to speak proper English. Even if the girl pity on him and gave the number, they will never meet. Something like this. So that's why I have to show everything.
yeah, man. Yeah, and you know what's funny though about that is the fact that even I used to be like, well, when I was filming it the other day, I was like, do I really want to like show like all these clips? But then I thought about it and I was like, well, at the end of the day, right? Like 90%, probably more, like 95% of guys can't even do the very first step, which is go up and approach a girl. And when you think about it that way, it's kind of like, well, it doesn't even just helping guys with that and just like approach anxiety is its own like business in itself, you know? So that's why I'm kind of like rejection, number, bad interaction. Like at the end of the day, it's still social proof that you can actually talk to women. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's like
yes.
very important, you know, to get as much like social proof and just showcase it out there because there's so many guys on YouTube now. This self-improvement dating, I guess, niche on YouTube has
Yes.
become so like oversaturated with people. And it's like, you know, there's so many just guys with talking head videos saying, oh, 5 tips on how to approach a girl, and there's just them sitting like on a couch, maybe in their like mom's bedroom, like recording a video, and it's just like talking head video. It's like half the guys don't show any like actual social proof, no infield, no even like just footage of them with a girl talking to a girl. And it's like you look at their subscriber count, it's like, wow, they have a lot of subscribers, they have a business running with like zero like social proof. And it's just amazing to me because it's like when you're a minority, when you're like an Indian guy, you can't get away with that. Like you have to
No,
show social proof.
actually, I think I talked about this thing, the bind concept, like the bind. If some guys just show up on the camera, they have so much high bind, and they
Yeah,
just say something, and that is more than enough to convince people to buy the
yeah,
services or something like that. So definitely, this bind, how much bind one has, and that's something I see, like that's definitely like Indian, uh, for the game purpose also. If like, it's not like, oh, Indian people should support us, but the main idea is that you have to be proud of who you are, support your people also, like, see your community as like higher than anyone else. Like the black people have this kind of superiority, people like it or not, they have this kind of superiority. I have like a lot of black people, like, like from USA, they came to Europe, and this is something I see like completely missing in Indian people, or like in the Southeast Asians. And something kind of, these things they need to have also, this, what we say, the raw power, the engine need to be fucking strong.
yeah,
Our engine is having no horsepower, is a fucking weak engine. If the inner
yeah,
game, the engine is not strong, you are not, no matter how much body paint you do, it's just gonna fall. So that is
yeah,
something I see. I think that Indians, or like Southeast Asian people, need to have that kind of, strong inner game, alphaness. We are the,
yeah.
so there was a song, "We the best." Who's this guy? DJ Khalid. We
DJ
the
Khaled,
best.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. No,
So
I agree, man. I definitely agree. I think you see a lot with like the black community, black dating coaches kind of like supporting each other a lot, but it's Indian. I mean, well, I will say this, right? There's not a lot of brown self-improvement dating coaches that like I could think of, or like just brown self-improvement guys. There's only a handful. So you
but
would think that we should like stick
but
together.
in USA, you said it, but in USA, which race is suffering the most in dating? Indian race, Indian and
Yeah.
Asian. But The dating coaches, there will be it is dominated by white, so there is kind of, you see
Yeah.
this, what is going on.
Yeah.
Indian race is suffering the most, but
Yeah.
you will find, but it is not dominated by Indian dating coaches. This is how it
Yeah.
is.
Crazy,
Nobody's
right?
talking about it. We
Yeah.
people need to think about it, like how it is. And as like, if somebody is from Indian origin and all, and like guys like you know how it feels like, and you can teach him, or I can teach him them much better. But if a white guy is coming to you or to me, we can also teach them better, because it's the we are transferring the skills to them.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, no, but for me, I know you take like clients like pretty much like everywhere, it seems like,
Yeah.
right? For me, I've really niched it down to the point where like I just take like South Asian clients. And a lot of people have been like why do you do that? Like why are you so like niche down? It's because I really want to like make that personal connection, because I think that's so powerful, the relatability factor.
This is really
Um,
good.
like when I can teach a brown guy, I know like what he's going through. I could really relate, right? I want to make that connection better, right? So I've really kind of niched it down where it's like my channel is just like self improvement for like South Asian guys. So definitely tough for sure, because it's like Indian guys, it's like, they'll go to white dating coaches, they'll be super competitive, try and have this like ego thinking that you don't know like what you're talking about, right? Even so, I don't know what it is, but a lot of Indian guys, they're very stingy when it comes to investing in themselves, money wise, especially into something that could like change their life and help them in their dating life for sure. So yeah, definitely tough, for sure.
Yeah. So we talked about like around 1 hour 20 minutes now. So how much you have time?
We can go for like 5-10 minutes. Be good.
Okay. So like you do, I have some questions. Indian. Yeah. Like, what do you think about the Indian swag? I have written, like, so we should bring some Indian swag, man. Like, this makes sense. Like something we have to also develop for Southeast Asians, like their own like subculture in that sense, which is cool. Something like that. Like for example, Asians have this K-pop and this kind of culture they have. Black people have. Indians are not having. We have to find something. So what do you think
Yeah,
about that?
yeah. No, I tell a lot of Indian guys to find like an Indian like kind of, I don't know what the word for it is, an Indian celebrity, I guess, or Indian like music artist. So for example, like like Diljit, right? He's like an
Diljit.
Indian rapper.
I'm not
I
sure.
guess. Well,
It's
yeah.
it's
So like,
it's
there's
it's
a lot of
it's
like,
it's in from India, or it's in USA?
he's an Indian guy. Yeah, his name's like
Okay, I have to
Diljit.
check it. Okay.
Yeah. There's another guy like AP Dillon. Have you heard of him? He's like an Indian guy, Indian music
AP,
artist. AP
AP
Dillon.
Dylan. No.
No, you haven't
No.
heard. Okay, well, those are like examples, right, of like celebrity Indian guys that are like
Okay, yeah.
pretty good looking, right? So I tell guys, look at those guys and try and like kind of mimic what they're doing with their style, their grooming. Like those are guys that are like pretty good Indian guys, pretty good looking Indian guys. And they've even like, a lot of US artists have actually collabed with them on like songs and stuff. And because they're
Uh-huh.
like, oh, these guys have like swagger, like they're like really good at
Yeah,
what they
that's good.
do. But I tell a lot of
Yeah.
Indian guys, like, find, some of these really like good looking Indian guys and kind of see how they're like dressing, how they're going about the swagger that like they bring off. Start somewhere, start following like some of these like Indian, like, or Middle Eastern, even like models and like guys on Instagram that are dressing better, that are like ethnic guys. And when you can find really people that have similar archetypes to you in that sense, that's a really good like starting place to like kind of go and
Yes.
like mimic. So there
Yeah.
definitely are a lot of like Indian kind of celebrities, but they're just like kind of little low key as opposed to like the US celebrities. But there's a lot of like Middle Eastern Indian guys on, music artists on Instagram that, showcase their style, like look like pretty good. So there are definitely role models out there that guys can follow for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So it makes me kind of more excited when I start building like the fashion like module stuff in my course that I have. So yeah.
Yeah, and like we high earning not enough. Okay, I'm just checking my questions I have. This like this online thing, online dating. What do you think about? Like in my opinion, I think like for ethnics, it is like black guys or Asian guys or all these like or average looking white guys. I think the best is the real time game, because I think maybe you do the everything maxed out as an Indian guy, looks maxed and everything, you can get some matches, but in the real time when you go out, you can show the personality, and there you can score very very big if you have
Yeah.
already thing maxed out. But if you still go to real time compared to online, you still win in the real time game. What is your
Yeah.
opinion?
So hold on. I don't know if can you see this or not really?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
something.
this
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
my online game, right? So I do really well online. Like I get a ton of matches. Um so like for me, really, and I'm not saying this to like brag, but I don't think you can see the ethnicities of them, can you?
Yeah, I see some. Yeah, it's a bit kind of blurry. Yeah, but yeah, it will be. It's yeah, you're getting matches. Yes.
Yeah, so when it comes, I say for guys, it's always been. I think you should leverage both, because I just think in today's world, like digital world, I think the best you want to get the best possible results for guys, right? But I do see the other argument of it that cold approach is a hack in 2024. I think you're getting so much farther than so many guys that are so scared that are just sitting on their phone swiping all the time, which is I tell guys you need to leverage both options because most guys they suck and they'll never have the balls to go and talk to a girl. They think they could
Yes.
just sit there and swipe all the time and expect like the matches. And the reality is most Indian guys, their profiles suck. They like don't optimize it right. And I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie, a lot of them don't listen to the advice that I'm gonna give them. Well, it's like, okay, you're not gonna listen to my advice on how to optimize your profile, right? You're like stingy with money, you're not gonna invest in a photographer. It could take you, a while to looks max and dress better and get to that full, high status, like high quality photo. So it's like, what other option do you have? You have to go back to like the classic, like meeting people in person and showcasing your, personality more through like social skills and game. So that's why I tell guys to do both. And for the longest time for online, I also thought that like just because I was like a minority guy, it would be tougher. I'm not going to get the results, and I wasn't getting that great results like online at all. But I think throughout the years, just looks maxing and working on style, the grooming, the fitness, developing a better body, and then going with on a photo shoot with like an actual dating app
Mm-hmm.
photographer, all those things make a huge difference, and it
Different.
really skyrocketed my matches. So I definitely recommend guys definitely looks max, get into shape, dress better, hygiene, grooming, style, always max those things out, continue to work on them, and at the same time leverage both options. Because you just
Yeah.
never know who you could run into when you're out and about, right? You just never know, like you see like you're shopping and then you see a cute girl like down the aisle, right? It's like, why not just go approach and just go start a
Yeah.
conversation with
Exactly.
her? Like,
Exactly.
why
Yeah.
not just shoot your shot? Even if you're not the best looking dude in the world, at the end of the day, nothing's 100% certain. We don't know it all, right? There's no black and whites 100% on each side. You just never know. And at the end of the day, why not just take that risk and just go for it, right? It's like, you're not getting matches online, you might as well leverage the other aspects. So I really do preach to people that you need to learn both sides of it.
Both
you
things.
need to learn cold approach. You have to, if you really want to take it to the next level. It's just a great skill to have. You know, there's something that is special, I think, in a way. I know this sounds cheesy, but it's special in a way, knowing that you could go to like any city, dropped anywhere in the US, and that same day, or at least within the next couple of days, you could get a date, not even having to use like a dating app, just because you're so confident in yourself that talk to anybody at any time.
Yeah, that's I agree
when
100%.
You like, for that approach anxiety, it's like the world is kind of yours. It's like, holy shit, like I could see any hot girl, and I'm not gonna lie, I get nervous at times. Like everyone's nervous a little bit, right? But the fact that you still have the balls to push yourself and go talk to them, it's just like gives you that extra edge, that extra advantage. And there's something about it where it's like knowing that you have more confidence than like 98% of the people out there, that you just have another like trick in your back pocket, which is cold approach, which is approaching people in person. It is pretty special. So that's why I tell people that you need to learn both.
That's good. Yeah, so yeah, like so we have I have if you have any questions, but that's like I have for this. Maybe we should do another time also some kind of podcast, maybe some specific topic. So we
good.
can,
I think we covered a lot.
a lot of things. And it's good, man. Like, you know, we should support each other. Like this is how I see it. So hope you enjoyed this podcast. So take care. Thanks, Nair. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot of value out of it. By the way, guys, if you are still suffering in your dating life, not able to find any solution for the problems you are facing in your dating life, now it's time to change it forever. And if you really want to get guided by me personally in my mentorship program or in my one-on-one bootcamp program, then apply to the link in the description below. The link is deepakdating.info/mentorship. But keep in mind, my mentorship program or my one-on-one bootcamp program are in very high in demand with a very limited availability. They are also costly. So only if you are fully motivated, committed, and prepared emotionally and mentally, want to get guided by me personally, only then apply to the mentorship or my bootcamp program. If right now the cost is the issue, or you are not able to do my mentorship program or my bootcamp program due to any personal reason and still want to change your dating life, then I suggest you to join Dating Infield's Domination. The link is also in the description below. The first link, it's only $1, completely risk-free. You can cancel it anytime you want to. There you will see pure uncut infield interaction of me as well as my students, getting laid, getting girlfriends, listen word by word, line by line, infield interactions in this program, Dating Infield's Domination, and learn top-level seduction skills which no other dating coach in this world can able to teach you. I challenge it. What you will see in Dating Infield's Domination in the infields, that is something you will be personally learning from me in my mentorship program or my one-on-one bootcamp program in future if you plan to join it. So apply to the link in the description below for a 30-minute free call, deepakdating.info/mentorship. If you really want to get mentored by me personally and change your dating life or other alternative, join Dating Infield's Domination. The link is also in the description below. If you are not really sure right now for mentorship program or my one-on-one bootcamp program. Also guys, don't forget to watch the playlist Rock Solid Infield on this channel, where I'm doing live flirt, picking up girls in front of camera, showing top level pickup and attraction skills. Also don't forget to watch Student Transformation and Testimonial, where I'm teaching my students, showing full documentaries, student success and their testimonials also.